Hello and welcome. You're watching AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Adirayo Senami. Professor Umar Garba Dambata has been reappointed as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, by President Muhammadu Buhari, based on recommendation of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Ali Pantami. The minister has since congratulated Professor Dambata on his reappointment and encouraged him to significantly improve the overall performance of the Commission and ensure adequate mechanisms are put in place to facilitate the implementation of all its policies. In the US, President Donald Trump on Friday ordered the United States military to withdraw nearly 9,500 troops from Germany, a move likely to raise concerns in Europe about the country's commitment to the region. The move is a result of months of work by top U.S. military officer and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. It was said to be necessary as there was less need for the large contingents in Germany due to overall increased defense spending by the U.S.-led NATO military alliance. The move will also reduce the number of U.S. troops in Germany from 34,500 to 25,000. Meanwhile, India and China's foreign affairs ministries have agreed to resolve a dispute over their shared border in the Ladakh region through peaceful diplomatic channels. Indian officials say the two sides will first focus on getting both the Indian Army and China's People's Liberation Army to pull back additional troops and equipment to their pre-May positions, which was put up when India accused Chinese troops of entering its territory 3 times in May. Recall that a scuffle broke out between India and Chinese troops at the Pangong So Lake in May due to trespassing, which made India's Ministry of External Affairs accuse the Chinese troops of hindering regular Indian patrols along the line of actual control, a demarcation that separates Indian-controlled territory from Chinese-controlled territory. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, on Friday announced the approval of $5.2 billion financing package for Egypt, which is said will help alleviate the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic. IMF Mission Chief Umar Ramakrishnan said this will safeguard the gains made by Egypt over the past 3 years and place the country on a path of sustained recovery, inclusive growth and job creation. And in Africa, thousands of people took to the streets of Mali's capital Bamako on Friday, demanding the resignation of President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. The protesters gathered at the central square in Bamako to condemn what they said was the president's mishandling of many crises affecting the country. The demonstration was organized by Mali's newly formed opposition alliance, which includes the main opposition parties and civil society groups. And in Nigeria, Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, on Friday signed into law a bill on sexual violence that makes treatment and care compulsory for child victims of sexual abuse. The bill also makes it compulsory for caregivers to report any incident to relevant authorities for safekeeping records of victims at medical facilities and order of restitution, amongst others. The governor called for effective prosecution of sex offenders while stressing the need for a national consensus on rape. Still in Nigeria, the Nigerian House of Representatives is to begin investigations of the power sector next week to know why power consumers do not get value for their money. The chairman, House of Representatives Committee of Power, Magaji Dawo Aliu, who disclosed this on Friday, expressed regret that the sector has remained the same 7 years after privatization, despite trillions of naira spent to improve power supply. The investigation will examine the roles played by all government agencies involved in the privatization exercise, including the Bureau of Public Enterprise. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back shortly.
I am a refugee from Rwanda living in Kenya, but I'm also a nurse working on the front line during this COVID-19.
I'm a refugee from Iran living in Sydney, Australia. I'm also a civil engineer running online series of live conversation with doctors for the community.
I'm a refugee in Ghana, but I'm also a nursing student. I help my community to stay safe by sharing useful information on COVID-19.
I'm a South Sudanese refugee living in Nairobi. but I'm also a communication officer giving timely and verified information on COVID-19 to my community.
I'm a refugee from Burundi living in Rwanda. I'm also a refugee college guidance counselor providing support to refugee students during this pandemic. I do it for you.
I do it for you.
I do this for you.
I do it for you.
I do this for you.
I do it for you.
Welcome back. You're watching AD4 TV Radio News Update. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Friday confirmed 328 new cases of COVID-19, raising the total number of cases in the country to 11,844. As of Friday, out of the 11,844 total confirmed cases in Nigeria, 3,696 have been discharged, with 333 deaths recorded. Meanwhile, the remaining 5 COVID-19 patients in Sokoto State, Nigeria, have been discharged. Chairman of the State Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Mohammed Name, who announced this, said the state has not recorded any new cases of the virus in the last 9 days. Out of the 115 confirmed cases recorded, 102 were successfully treated and discharged. Facebook has stepped up its defenses and imposed greater transparency requirements for pages and ads on its platforms. Facebook's head of cybersecurity policy, Nathaniel Glisha, said the social media company had announced plans in October 2019 to create a state media label, which it started on Thursday. It identified Russia's Sputnik, Iran's Press TV, and China's Xinhua News Agency, and will block any ads from such outlets that target the United States users. In all, the company will apply the label to about 200 pages. And now in sports, renowned basketball legend Michael Jordan on Friday donated $100 million to groups fighting for racial equality and social justice amid a wave of protests across the United States over George Floyd's death. The legend, in a statement, said his brand, Jordan, will distribute the money over 10 years to different organizations in a bid to stamp out ingrained racism in America. So far, his donation is believed to be the highest contribution ever made to non-profit groups by a figure from the sports world. And that's it on AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our website at www.ad4tvradio.com. Please follow us on social media at AD4TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at AD4TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Adira Yosenami.